What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And for a minute, I want to talk little Mike Bloomberg. That's what I want to talk about for a quick second, because it seems like he's building up a little momentum and people are getting excited and hitching their wagon to little Mikey's little wagon. And all right, he's going to pull us along over the finish line, which I wouldn't get too excited about that. Frankly, I think little Mikey is just throwing money into the wind, letting the wind just blow it all over the place, and I hope it blows my way. I mean, you could save the cheese, Mike. Just give it to me, man. That's all I'm saying. I want to be like Mike only when it comes to the money. Everything else, no. Now, I'm going to tell you why little Mikey don't stand a chance. First of all, he's not original. What I mean by that is this. It is hard to relate to a politician after you see the raw, just candidness of President Trump. If he says something, most of the time you never hear him take it back or apologize or don't support what he said, And if he does it, it's done in a way where you don't sit back and say, you know what? First of all, that wasn't something he needed to apologize about. And he didn't do it in a way where you felt like he was groveling or whatever, just appeasing the left. I mean, apologize about the Access Hollywood thing. But that's something you can say, okay. Something I could see him going, oh, well, I shouldn't have been talking that crass or whatever, but y'all shouldn't have been recording me in the first place, because to be honest with y'all, I've heard worse than that in locker rooms. But anyway, getting back to my point, little Mikey goes on and says I don't know how long ago, a year or so before he decided to run. Well, if reason I'd never be able to run for president because everybody got to go on an apology tour. Now, which made me think, okay. Little Mikey got some guts. He's like, man, I ain't going to go ahead and capitulate to all of the masses and the hysteria and the mob. I'm going to be my own man. But then when little Mikey decided to run, first thing he do is run to the black church, trying to pander towards them. Now, this is what bothers me about this. All of this stuff that's coming up about things that Mike Bloomberg said or did in the past, if this was Trump or any other conservative, Black people would never forgive them. Neither would the liberal media. Neither would the Democrats. They would say, if you said something in 1902 that sound a little suspect, you are forever that person from 1902. But isn't it amazing to me how Democrats can say and do things, and it appears that the media and a lot of minorities just forget. They overlook it. They chalk it up as all they were young and foolish at the time. I'm sure they didn't mean it. They're better now. I mean, they voted for Hillary, and she was cool with Margaret Sanger, hanging out with the Grand Poobah of the Ku Klux Klan. She's the one that said black young men need to be brought to heel. She was the one that helped pass and push legislation to jail young black men. But yeah, when it came down to voting, she's great. All they do is just sweep all that stuff under the rug. And for some reason, a lot of minorities just say, oh, they're better now because they're Democrats and they're supposed to represent, equality and fighting against racism. So obviously, she didn't mean those things. But when you hear about the Central Park Five and stuff like that, they want to hold that over Trump's head forever. As if the only reason Trump might have been adamant about seeing justice done couldn't have been because he believed that they were guilty. Okay? It had to be because they were black. That's it. See, when the Democrats look at every decision from a conservative, it is through the prism of black, white, gay, straight, transgender, binary gender, all of these things that they just throw out there versus the decisions of these people, the evidence, the facts, the reasoning skills. It always comes down to some hidden, seedy motive, okay? Now, I know people up there in New York who were Latino, who were black during the time of that whole event. They thought those guys were guilty as well. It's like, based on the evidence that the prosecution presented, I thought they were guilty too, only to find out later on that, well, dang, we was tricked and deceived. But nonetheless, they want to hold that over Trump's head because they're saying the only reason he could have ever did that or said that is because they were black. Forget the fact that he was the only one that threw money behind Jesse Jackson's bootleg Rainbow Coalition and his run for presidency. Forget that. None of that stuff matters. All that stuff is just trumped by the fact that he thought these young men were guilty. Whereas Michael Bloomberg goes on an apology tour talking about I'm sorry about stop and frisk. I wasn't the same man that I am now a year ago. Up until then, I still supported and stood by the policy. But just recently, since I decided to run for the presidency, I got a new revelation. I've now seen the light from just, it's kind of like everybody goes through the rite of passage when they decide to run for the president, and then they become very tolerant and woke somehow. Now, instead of defending stop and frisk, which he probably could have done, stood his ground and said, look, man, yeah, I supported it. Look at the crime. Crime went down. Not to mention, when I made the comment about, yes, more black young men are being thrown in jail because they represent more crime. I could have backed that up with statistics, but no, what did he do? I'm sorry about it. So right off grip, we know that he got a jellyback spine. He got the jellyback spine, okay? So now you see this. He's going to get eaten up in the debates because of these things, not taking a stance. And then, of course, when they bring him up, all he can do is say, I'm sorry, I'm better now. I shouldn't have. But what really offended me is the fact that now he goes on the tour talking about, here's my new black person policy that I'm putting out there. Let me show up at the black church. I saw him holding a black baby today. Like, oh, see, I like black people too. And you getting this? Hurry up, take the picture now so I can get his baby back to his mother. Now, that is pandering at the highest level. If minorities don't see that, which my gut tells me, based on the tolerance, the interference, all of those things that come from the liberal media and the other Democrats, they won't see it, because all they're going to do is just say, he loves you guys. And all of a sudden, it's like they just took a watch in front of a lot of black people's face. Yes, he loves us. Forget all of those things that we would have easily attacked Trump over or any other conservative. All of those things, forget it. It's water under the bridge. But then he goes on to offend, I guess, the farmers. Somebody released another audio or a video of him talking about the farmers. And he's talking about how anybody can be taught to farm. Pretty much it's an easy job. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know too many people right now that can just say, I ain't talking about a little garden in your backyard, some tomatoes growing in your windowsill. I'm talking about full-blown farming, the equipment, the technology, knowing the seasons and all of the things that farmers have learned how to do. Okay. If the grid went down, how many folks would survive? I know one thing, I'd be partnering up with the farmers. See, but Bloomberg felt that's nothing. That doesn't take a lot of intelligence to do that stuff. But technology is where, higher thinking people. See, so he's dug himself a grave by making comments like this. And I want to see if the Democrats and the liberal media will hold this man accountable. And if voters will as well, or are they so hungry to destroy Trump, they're willing to just forget all that. Forget it. That stuff was in the past. I'm sure when he was talking about the difference between the farmer's intelligence and computer software designers and technology people, I'm sure that he wasn't saying that these people are dumb and anybody could do their job, but not these people. Higher thinking, higher consciousness. Well, isn't it funny that most of these people who do this probably couldn't do what they do? See, so I want to see how this is all going to pan out. But here's the other thing, since we're talking about little Mikey. The Democrats is going to tick off Bernie Crazy Sanders and all of his people because they do not want Bernie Sanders winning the nomination. They sure enough don't want sleepy, creepy, slimy Joe, because Joe, Joe don't know. He don't know. We need to run a new ad. Joe don't know nothing, okay? He got about 3 brain cells left swimming around up in his dome like, anybody home? Yeah, so Joe got to go. And so I think what they're going to do is slide Bloomberg in under the nose of everybody. So Bloomberg is going to be tested this Wednesday during the debate. All of the other candidates are gunning for him. He done bought his way in. And what they're going to do is they're going to fire at him. And I heard he's a horrible debater. So let's see. He's going to have to answer to all of those statements that he's been throwing out. But if they do slide Bloomberg in under Bernie's nose, all those Bernie bros is going to flip out and have a fit, which I'm okay. I want to see the whole house divided and it just collapse. That's what I want to see. I want to see the whole Democratic House of Cards implode. Because see, one thing about them, unlike the Republicans, they are dirty, nasty, and stick together. They're willing to do what it takes to win, even if it's corrupt. See, they're kind of like a coach that I had back in high school who I was about to go take the ACT test. And he came up to me and said, listen, I'm not telling you to cheat, but I'm telling you to find a way to get it done. I was like, huh? Oh, find a way to get it done. He's like, Yeah, that's how they are. They are like, you know what? We're not cheating. We're just finding a way to get it done by making sure Bernie Sanders do not win the nomination. So on one end, you got corrupt, funky, nasty, dirty, crooked Democrats. On the other end, you got nasty, funky, dirty, stinking socialists. Okay. And a pox on both of their houses. Okay. Pox on both of their houses. So in my opinion, either way it go, we win. So let's see what little Mikey's going to do on Wednesday in this debate. But I hope that minorities, after all of the success that's happening through the economy and all of that stuff, I hope they don't just buy into bootleg apologies and a lot of cover-up and interference done by the liberal media and the Democrats and just, we're going to embrace Mike Bloomberg for some reason, even though we didn't even know who he was about a month and a half ago. So anyway, you've been listening to Kevin and Kevin's Corner. I'll be reporting on this after Wednesday. Check me out every Wednesday live, 7:30, Kevin's Corner on Facebook, YouTube, and my radio blog talk show. Check out Extreme Tees, my sponsor. Bam. If you like something, put Kevin in the promo code. You get a 20% discount. If you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, feel free. There's links in the bottom. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, notification, and share my videos. And make sure you're still notified and your notifications are set for all. And also that you're still subscribed. Okay? All right. And find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you next time in Kevin's Corner. God bless.